Today, we are going to be talking about José Sarria, a trailblazing drag queen and politician who became the first openly gay candidate for public office in the United States in 1961. Let's get started. We'll begin with early life. José was born in San Francisco in 1922. His mother, Maria, was Colombian and his father was of Spanish origins, both immigrants who sailed to San Francisco in 1920. The two were not married, and his father left his mother when he realized she was pregnant. Maria attempted to continue working as a maid while raising the infant alone, but ultimately gave José to another family to be raised. The Millen family that took him in became like his second home, and his father, who had left, was not involved in his life and was eventually arrested for failure to pay child support. From a young age, José stood out, not only because he was gay in a time which this was extremely dangerous, but because he refused to hide that part of himself. He began dressing in girls' clothes as a child, and the family allowed him to go on occasional outings in these outfits. He studied ballet, tap dance, singing, and French and German languages. His first homosexual relationship is said to have been with an Austrian baron whom he tutored. As a young man, he served in the military during World War II. The army found out he was gay, but being short on troops, they sent him to cooking and baking school rather than discharging him. He became a staff surgeon and then returned home to San Francisco. Back in San Francisco, José began working as a waiter at the now iconic bohemian bar, the Black Cat, which was known for its queer patrons and was something of a haven for many queer folks in the 1950s. Though he started out waiting tables, this quickly turned to performing, and José would sing arias in full drag. Often, these performances would end with a rendition of God Save the Nelly Queens, set to the tune of God Save the Queen, a message about queer pride and solidarity long before the pride movement as we know it today had begun. While these performances were theatrical, campy, and fun, they were also highly political. That's why I titled this section Politics and Performance, as you can see. I think it's interesting to think about how there is a political side to performance and a performative side to politics. José often witnessed police raids on his community's bars and became increasingly politically active. In 1960, he founded the League for Civil Education to advocate against laws that made it illegal to serve queer people alcohol. Then, in 1961, José made history in the political arena as the first out gay person to run for public office in the United States. He ran for a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, and his campaign centered around proving that the queer community in San Francisco was a political force. He felt that they had a vote and a say in politics and should not be ignored or treated as second-class citizens. There was institutional pushback, and José had to threaten to sue just to be placed on the Democratic ticket, despite collecting the necessary signatures to secure a place. José came 9th out of 30 candidates, 24 of whom had been recruited in an attempt to oust him. While he didn't win, he got over 6,000 votes and laid the foundation for future queer politicians. Now we will talk about the impact of José's career and campaign. A huge part of the importance of his campaign was that it proved the importance of the queer vote, indicating that the community should be taken seriously and considered in campaigns, and was one of the first times that queer sexual identity was seen as a political force. José went on to help launch the modern queer rights movement in San Francisco by founding the first U.S. Gay Business Association, the Society for Individual Rights, and then the Imperial Court of San Francisco, which has now become the International Court System, one of the largest queer charity networks in the world. At the same time, he continued performing at the Black Cat until it closed in 1963. José's legacy is larger than life. Popularly referred to by his persona, Her Royal Majesty Empress José I, the Widow Norton, which is the getup in the left photo, José blurred the lines between drag performance and political activism in a way that helped politicize an entire generation and galvanized activist movements across San Francisco. José insisted on visibility, and his campaign for office broke barriers and forced politicians to take queer voters seriously. He remained politically active until the end of his life, even endorsing Harvey Milk's candidacy for the Board of Supervisors. In 1977, Milk, the first queer man to be elected to public office, won the board seat that José had run for in 1961. In 2006, a portion of Castro Street in San Francisco's gay neighborhood was named José Sarria Court in his honor. José's legacy lives on in drag performance, in politics, and on the San Francisco city streets. That's everything I have for you today. Here are my sources. They're on the screen, and they're also in the description box if you want to check out any of the links. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to do a little sidebar shout out to the GLBT Historical Society archives. I used their primary source set on Jose's life throughout this process, and it was really cool to be able to do that primary source research. A lot of the images you see on screen were from that archive, and this is just something that really can't be taken for granted in the context of queer history, especially with paper media that could have since been destroyed or lost. So yeah, I just wanted to say this is a really well-organized, well-preserved archive, and you should check it out. It's really cool. Okay, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.